Welcome to Deep Fried Neurons.
That's our theme song.
I don't know. Today it is. I felt like singing.
Woo!
I felt like
Blah.
singing.
Well, that's
That's
great.
right.
That's good news. That's so felt like singing. Your week's been good.
Oh God, no.
Okay. Sing is the week's been bad. Your week has not been good. Like that. Sing it out.
Yes, but it's over now.
Yeah.
Now
Whole
it's
new week.
happy hour. Deep fried happy hour.
Woohoo! What Barb? What's you drinking? Should we go straight into?
I am drinking. Yeah. I'm Barb, and
I
I
drink.
make things, and I drink also.
Mhm.
Apparently, I'm
Ooh,
drinking
longboard.
Longboard Lager by Kona Brewing Company.
Cool.
Why not?
Longboard is good.
Yes.
I'm
I would also like to show off my cool shirt. It is a Wild Maker Woman shirt.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
Is
awesome.
this cool? Or
I
is this
like
cool?
that. That's super
This-
cool.
I know. What's even cooler is that it's made by a 13-year-old girl in England. And I was apparently the first international customer. And
Oh,
that's
really?
amazing.
Oh, that's so awesome.
her handle is Stemily.
Emily?
Yeah.
Oh, I
great.
love it. Yes. Please
It's
put
so
put the link in the comments,
I will
man. I want to totally get
I will
this shirt.
totally do that. I know, right? Blech. Sorry, knocking things over. Who are you, Carlin?
Oh, good.
What are you drinking?
I don't know. Although there was okay, let's not get distracted as immediately get distracted. I remember I had something else to say. But I can tell you what I'm drinking.
Yeah.
And I decided to make a jam cocktail. It's apparently a thing. Jam cocktails are apparently a thing. And I did this because, actually, I wonder. Bah, bah, bah. I just,
Yes.
sorry, I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a jam cocktail.
Mhm.
It's a Googleable thing. And basically, there are different recipes for a jam cocktail. But I would say what this is, it's 2 parts jam to 1 part vodka. And then filled out by the sparkling mineral water, orange flavored sparkling mineral water that I sort of like constantly drink from Trader Joe's. And that I added a little bit of honey because I got the ratio.
Honey to the jam.
Well, this is because this is what I'm opening up here. We made jam. I made jam. Like, I don't know. I'm like saying we made jam.
Colin made jam. I had no participation in it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this is a jam. I wonder if I can open new.
Dream it.
Ooh.
There's the lemon apricot sage jam. So ours is pretty tart. It's kind of like on the border of marmalade. So it's not very sweet. And Gesundheit. And so, I don't add a lot of sugar. I've never really made jam before this past couple weeks, but we are getting a CSA box and a farm drop off box, and fruit shows up in our house, and we don't eat it all, and so I make it into jam.
Great.
Yeah. It's Jay asked if it's savory. I like a little bit of weirdo flavor in my sweet. So it's bay leaves and sage, not a lot, just a little. Just give it a little bit of interest to go into the flavor. So that's why I added honey though, because it's pretty tart. And then, but I wanted to use the jam in my cocktail, and so I put jam cocktail into the internet, and lo and behold,
Yeah, if it's a thing, people have made booze with it, I suppose, right?
I know. It's yeah. So this one person recommended basically a 1-to-1 ratio of like 1-to-1 ratio of alcohol to jam, and recommended that you put it in a mason jar and blah blah blah. That person is wrong. It's 1-to-1. 1-to-1 booze and jam just tastes like medicine.
Yeah. It's better.
But anyway,
The times.
so for this was 2-to-1 jammed alcohol plus
Nice.
seltzer filler and a sprig of rosemary.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who are you, Todd?
Oh, I'm Todd. I'm the head of Thingham that makes the Blink-1 USB LED. Like, anyway, yeah. So I'm drinking
Totally think you're
Apothic Red. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's got a cool label design, and
hang on.
it costs
We're
so
going
much
full
money.
screen on
This
that.
is expensive for me, man. This was $11. But the thing is that look, it's aged in whiskey barrels for 60 days.
Fascinating.
Which sure.
One,
I love how like alcohol is one of the only things where you do that. You don't have like this Coca-Cola was aged in milk cartons for 60 days, you know.
Yeah.
No, exactly, but it's okay to say like, oh, we're gonna put wine in old whiskey barrels, and that's fine.
Yeah. I see. I
it's pretty
find that
good.
weird. Did they just like we ran out of the wine barrels, so we're like, we'll call it a feature. We'll call it a feature.
So I mean, I'd love to know what kind of whiskey barrels they are, because like one of the things they do to whiskey barrels to make it so the whiskey actually tastes more than just like rubbing alcohol is they char the inside.
Thank you, Uncle Nearest.
With a torch, you know. What's that?
I said, thank you, Uncle Nearest.
Uncle Nearest?
He's the guy who invented doing that.
Oh, okay, sure. And so there's like some cool chemistry that happens as the alcohol like pulls out the carbon, the burnt wood or whatever. And for me, sometimes that makes it almost a vanilla taste in the whiskey. And this has a little bit of that in it, which is kind of neat. I don't know anything about whiskey, but it smells kind of vanilla-y, which is neat. So, yeah, yay, Trader Joe's, $11. I'm heading up. I'm heading up, man. I'm moving up to the big city.
Is it a screw top, Todd? Is it a screw top? Let's get down to the.
It is not, but it does have one of these synthetic corks, which apparently are better, and they're much easier to remove than like normal tree corks, but they're not as cool for like my purposes because I like the cork. But so cyber cork.
You should plant a cork oak.
Cork oak.
Yeah.
Can you
grow well into that?
Can you just like go outside then and just like thumbtack things to it?
Totally.
I bet you could. Yeah. I mean, you can thumbtack things to most trees.
That's true. I know, but it would be cool if it was like your cork tree.
It's my cork board. See, it's my cork board.
That's where it's
It's a cork tree.
Exactly. So yeah.
I have a cork scratching post.
Ooh,
Oh,
for
nice.
you or for the cats?
We have to fight over it sometimes, but
Well, could we make a scratching tree for our cat with the cork that we have?
like
Interesting.
corks. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like just a solid chunk of cork.
Yeah, it's better. But
Wow. That's
It
pretty cool.
was. It was. I got it with my last cat, who always wanted to scratch my couch, and I figured that this was the closest texture-wise to my couch.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I wonder, like, how to adhere the corks good enough so that he couldn't pull them out, or maybe that's part of the game. If he
That's
gets
a
if he gets a
feature,
cork
babe.
free,
Yeah.
he gets to play with it.
Oh, and maybe there's little cavities behind each cork with a treat in it, and then if he pulls a cork out, he can get the treat behind the cork.
It's got a real dead mouse behind the cork.
Oh, I love this idea. Oh
I like the
dear.
treat idea. Maybe not so much the dead mouse.
Aw.
No, but that
Yeah,
is
that's the only-
a really fun idea.
It's got to be a treat.
Interesting.
Wah, wah, wah.
Anyway,
Oh, what's my password?
Couldn't
so
tell you.
what did we make this week, Barb?
I don't know. What did we make? Oh wait, this was my theme.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
So long ago.
it was a minute ago, because last week was just not a week for
I had owies.
deep frying
Yeah.
our
things
neurons.
were
They
being
were
fried.
already there.
Yeah.
But we can take a
Pre-fried.
week off. That's fine.
Yeah.
We did. Oh yeah. So I said we should. It'd be interesting to make hugs, or have some variation of a hug.
Pugs?
Yes, we should totally make lots of dogs. Rottweilers, German Shepherds,
Pogs? What?
also milk bottles.
Thugs? Sorry.
Mugs.
Mugs!
How do I not have a mug around me right now? What the heck? Oh wait,
Ah,
Ooh, that's pretty
There.
cool. It's
your maker
graduated.
mug.
is my robot picker mug. Yes. So the theme was hugs.
Hugs.
Some way of giving a hug to yourself or to others or something like that.
I like this idea.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Not it.
I'll go. Okay, I mean, it's sort of. I thought that I would work on this scarf that I've been working on. I looked up at the receipt is still in the bag that I still have from buying the yarn in 2016.
2015. Wow.
2016.
Oh, 2016. Yeah.
2016.
So-
We were traveling in Portland, Oregon, and I went to a yarn store, and the woman was such a champ. I was like, hi, I'm not that good of a knitter, but I want to make something on my plane ride home. What should I make? And she just sort of like handled me so well. So it's like this yarn, this needle, this pattern. And it's great. But I've been working on it on and off now for like 4 years. Lots of different reasons. I've been doing other yarn things. This pattern is interesting. It's here, I'll share it.
Ooh, there's AV.
There's AV. It is from an organization called the Siemens Church Institute. Oh, wait, where'd it go? There it is. The Mariner's Scarf.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. So she picked a good one. It's hard for me to do watching TV sometimes because you do 6 knit, 6 purl, 6 knit, 6 purl, 6 knit, 6 knit, 6 purl. And I always have to I get worried about losing track, and so I like look down and I look down and I look down, and so we've been watching things that I actually want to watch. So it makes it a bit hard to work on, but hopefully I'll make some more progress on this.
Yeah, we're so cosmopolitan, man. In my white trash family, when I grew up, the TV was just always on because it was just on. You wouldn't actually like sit down really to watch things, and except maybe once or twice a week. And now we like turn on the TV for an explicit show.
Yeah. You do a better job of multitasking than I do.
Oh yeah, well, it's just because my brain. It's
So big.
Yeah,
a single show cannot contain my brain.
It's true. But this is not the. I'll just go ahead and pull up the blog post. For anyone who wants to learn how to knit, I actually have a playlist of the ones that I used. I already knew how to knit when I found these videos, but these were the ones that I rewatched to like relearn how to knit. The type of knitting that I do is continental style, and I do something called the Norwegian purl.
What the?
Yeah.
Fancy the continental style.
Yes.
I'm an accidental continental.
Yeah. So I guess I could knit while we do our show, but
we can throw in knit 2, 3, purl 5.
Oh God, please don't do that. No problem.
Random numbers all the time.
So the other day I was using purl 5, and then I told my knitter.
16? Wait, what?
But also in any kind of hug conversation, I'm like, everyone needs to give themselves a heated shiatsu massager. Get them. Yeah,
they're pretty cool. They just put them in an existing chair and then sit in the chair, and it goes bob 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 against your back.
Yeah, they make these ones that you like hug yourself with.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
That are also kind of interesting.
How come you don't have one of those?
Because I have the chair.
Oh yeah, well, but it doesn't hug you. It just
Yeah, I know. This one seems like too much work. But anyway.
I love that they all glow. There's like no reason for them to glow, because it's just LEDs in there. But you have to indicate the heat is on or whatever.
But anyway, so that's my hug. Knitting is a hug. Making knitwear for other people is a hug.
It is a hug.
That's good.
I like it. That's very cool.
So if
Barb.
I can...
Is it me? Am I up?
I think so. Unless Carlin has more.
Do you have more, Carlin?
No, it's just the usual. I'm like, wait, where am I?
You're in the kitchen, Carlin.
No. I noticed the knitting. I'm like, did I properly? Oh, I did. Good.
Oh, she's knitting. I see.
I'm just like, shit. How many? Like, what line am I on? How am I? Where am I? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't understand how knitters do it, because there seems to be this whole like sense of state you have to maintain in your head, and like it's not like, I guess it's kind of visible on the piece, but to me I would want some sort of versioning system or checkpoint, like in a video game at least, you have save games, but what do you do in
I have a piece of I have things that I mark down because I feel like
they sell, or you could 3D print, or you could use really honestly anything. You can have markers, just like a little piece of plastic, piece of wire, something, string, and you just put it in there and continue along. And then when you come back around to that next spot again, that's
like some sort of like,
you can take it out later.
I have to do the next thing at the next level up marker. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But also,
I've seen little symbols like that. I always wonder what they were for.
Yeah. And then also the more that you do it, the easier it is to look at it and just like count how many you've actually done.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Depending also on the yarn that you're using. If you're using some kind of like big floofy yarn with like all of those strings on it that just like makes it completely invisible to look at, is not so much.
Also, like the multicolor yarn that's all twisted, it can be hard to.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks really, really cool.
It does look really, really cool.
Harder to tell.
Judge.
Yeah.
This one's tricky because it's dark,
Mm-hmm.
so you need a little bunch of light to be able to tell where you are.
Yeah. Which is, tricky. Shall I show my hug?
Mm-hmm.
What's your hug?
I have 2 hugs. One of them's not quite done yet, and one is the prototype or the early version. And it's for not me. I will probably make one for myself as well. But I've got a friend who lives nearby here who we're both, when you don't live with somebody and you're quarantining, human contact is tricky, or the lack of, I should say, because that is a thing that we are very, very accustomed to, and can't get it right now. So one of the things I thought about was Helen Lee made this big tentacle stuffed sound sculpture thing. And I was lucky enough to see it in person, and it's just like the most wonderful, comfortable, like happy making thing ever. And I said, I want to make one of those, and I haven't gotten a chance to yet. And I'm like, I am going to make one for Jenna. And at some point, maybe I'll make one for me too. But it'll be cool. Giant, like, thing. So, should I show the... Should I show that thing? I'll just show you this one. Okay. So I made a first one, and it didn't have terribly good instructions, and so I'm she didn't really make great instructions for it. So it's much too small. Yes, it's
that's much too small. That's great.
This is too small for a tentacle because it's something that like you can cuddle. You can kind of actually cuddle this. This is pretty good for cuddling. Oh, that's quite nice. Oh.
Yeah.
But it works well as like a neck pillow too.
Yeah. But I could see how bigger would be better for this case.
So, what I decided to do, because the way I did this, I did it all in one part, and stuff I used, the top layer was too thin. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make the bottom pillow, and then the color will be the like a pillowcase to cover it. And I haven't finished the pillowcase yet, but I do have this big old honking thing.
Oh wow,
that's tentacular.
This is much more cuddly.
That's amazing.
This is much more comfortable.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. And hers has like this is still, I don't know. I think it'll look better when it has the colors on it and the big suction cup things. But it is extremely comfy.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Take a nap right now. It's like it can be a pillow. It's like part body pillow, part head pillow, part like hug.
Oh my god, I totally want one. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna build like mini and have them connected like a real?
I mean, you could do like
someone needs to build a couch where the back pillows are all just tentacles.
Just make the whole thing be okay, so like a round couch, where the center is just that, but then there's just like tentacles sticking out from it.
Like the mighty pit of Sarlacc or whatever is here.
Here, sit into my couch. Yeah, put little armatures on them. Use your tentacle technology that you've been developing. No, Barb's got the tentacle for her like cat ears or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Archie you do have tentacle technology.
I mean, I've got the octopus around. Well, that's not the I've got the piece. I'm making the new tentacles, but they're still just 3D printed parts so far.
Cool.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's what I should make for the cat. I should make some like add-on tentacles that are controlled by his whatever.
Yes.
I don't know what, like his tail or his ears or something.
Or just in movement. Like there's like those toy little wooden snake things that move just based on you tipping them.
The invisible dog.
I have to say, so I don't know how many people have seen these, but they were big in the 50s. But they're these like wax starched leashes for dogs that you can walk like you have an invisible dog. And my grandmother had one. But these came up in my life recently because my mom is stuck in a building where they really want to keep. It's a senior living community that's in an apartment building because it's more urban, and they really are trying to discourage people from going out much. And so they if you have a dog, and so my mom has now ordered one of these with my encouragement because she just really needs to be able to go take a walk. And so she's going to take her invisible dog out for a walk.
That's pretty good.
Everyone knows. I mean, she's already done it without one of these, but just to sort of like make fun of the whole thing.
Oh, sorry.
What's that?
I was looking for an invisible dog video and I failed.
Oh, here I pulled up the video of Helen Lee's.
Do that
thing. We don't have to watch we could watch the whole thing.
Yeah, or just some of it.
Yeah, well, I'll show you the end so you can see what. We'll put links because you should totally watch it, and if you don't follow her, you should totally follow her because she is awesome.
She is very cool.
She's working on a big gold disco ball right now, which looks pretty great.
Awesome.
So cool. See, hers is so much better. It's really neat, and it has electronics in it.
Ooh, electronics.
This is.
Carlin Jay says, "I'm jealous of your mom."
See, you can see the end.
So yeah, what's the filling? Is it like a standard filling for stuffed animals or something?
Yeah. Here, let me just go back to the video. I'll show you. I made a soft thing. So yeah, she gives kind of instructions in the pattern, but you kind of have to figure it out a little bit, which is good. It's fine. That means I have a tiny tentacle here while I'm waiting. So I made patterns and everything. The one piece is like a certain size, just a triangle, and the other is slightly narrower. And then she used elastic to do like ruching to make the narrower side shorter. I kind of did pleats and like folded it over and did it that way because I don't have full elastic like that. And she used conductive thread for this, and then attached it to a snap. She has like tested all of the fabrics or the conductive threads and has like capital O opinions about them. See, if I didn't have my headphones in right now, you could hear that it's purring like a cat.
That's great. Oh yeah, I can sort of hear it.
Capacitive.
That's a little bit disturbing.
Yeah.
So when did she make that?
She made this video she just put up in May.
Yeah, recent.
But I know she had it with her when she at SuperCon. That's when I saw it when they were all everybody was in town, and last minute everybody was like, "Hey, we got a Crash Space? You want to see Crash Space?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm nearby. Come on over."
Awesome.
Excellent.
It was fun. But yes, that's my hug. It's not quite
That's
done,
cool.
but it will be
I
eventually.
like it.
And it's very colorful.
And I have to point out, we saw you do the freehand tentacles with the Sharpie.
Yeah.
You're
That's
drawing
pretty
skills,
amazing.
man.
Circles. Yeah, no, that actually did go better than I was expecting. But it's practice.
You seem to say that a lot.
It couldn't possibly have anything to do with your like years of experience.
Well, there's that. Oh yes, Jay. We all want to see Crash Space.
Oh man.
You're not a
It's a long
sandwich.
time.
Technically not a
Not a
sandwich. I
sandwich?
don't know.
Is it a wrap? Is a wrap a sandwich?
What are
I
we
don't know.
talking about?
Yeah, what are
What's a
humans?
sandwich?
Humans are topologically the same as a donut. So I think
Yeah.
are donuts sandwiches.
Yeah. Aren't we like multiple like donuts though? Because we got a bunch.
No, we're the one donut.
We're the one donut. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess.
There's
do
other
the
like
nose,
little yeah.
do the
There's
nose
like
holes count?
whole things. Yeah. There's nooks and crannies. We have nooks.
Nooks and crannies.
English
we're an
muffin.
English muffin donut. I am a Taurus. Cuckoo, choo, cuckoo, choo.
That's good. That's good.
All right, so I
that's
guess
me.
is it my turn?
Yeah,
It
it's
is
your
your
turn.
turn.
All right, I'm going to try to share a window here. Well, first, let me preface this with I was speaking of to your point, Barb, about like how do we do hugs in quarantine? I was like, is there a way that I could send a hug over email or send a link to a hug to give someone, right? And I couldn't figure out what that really meant. And so I fell back to audio, like sound. Sound is a thing. You can make it a file, but you can then share. And so, could you make an audio hug? And so, I used to be very good at Ableton Live. I'm no longer very good at Ableton Live, but I decided to try to get back into a little bit. And so, here is a attempt at a audio hug, and I'm sharing my screen here. And so, so what this is, let me get my window up here. Let me make sure my speaker's nearby so you can hear. And hopefully, that's a sound. Okay, so essentially I thought that the hug should have sort of three components to it. It should have a middle range that's sort of the main sound, this like sort of synth string sound that that is very warm and kind of nostalgic. And then after that, a little bit later, a bass tone comes in that sort of is like the warmth of the hug. And then a little bit after that are these little scintillating arpeggio sounds that's sort of like the frisson of a nice hug. And so so there's these three different parts. One of them is duplicated to get more bass. And the main part is this thing here, this sound. Let's see if I can make it sound. And so you can probably hear there's like tons of reverb and delay going on because of course that makes things better. And so here's what the whole hug sound sounds like. It's about 30 seconds long. Okay. And so that's basically
Play it again.
Play it again.
Oh.
Play it again.
All right. This is without the audio, without the video accompaniment, I suppose. See if it'll come back. Oh wait, no. Sorry, I messed up with messed the levels up. Don't listen to that.
Don't listen. Like the
So
little.
yeah, so there's a link up on my Bandcamp if you want to download this and listen to it on headphones with the proper stereo thing, because the whole point of this is it envelops you, and it's hard to just kind of demonstrate that envelopingness on a lav mic hooked up to a Bluetooth speaker, fed through the compression of StreamYard and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, give it a go. It didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted, but it's getting close. And this is about the third or fourth version of it, and it's got some of the, like, it's got the sort of, I think, build and fall that I want and stuff, and so. And it's made with all the default. It's made with just default Ableton Live plugins. So if you have Ableton, you could, recreate this pretty easy. It's basically analog string sounds and reverb, and then modulating a bunch of different parameters to give movement to the sound over time.
I have a question.
Jay asks, "What's a lavalier mic?" Lavalier mic is this little clip-on mic that you see people clip onto their bodies. And I've got one on my body right now because it sounds better. So, Carlin, you had a question?
Is it possible to make a sound like a TARDIS? Where
isn't that what we hear on Doctor Who?
Yes. No. I mean, though, in terms of a sound that is sort of like a lot of echo and reverb, as if though it was contained in a small soundproof space. I don't know if that makes if that makes any sense. Like,
yeah, I think you'd have to describe more.
Say
again. Like big full noise in a small soundproof room.
Well, then you would have not the, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of that's based on the reverb of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know enough about like sound design.
So I'm kind of curious as to what sort of sense you're after, because like there are these rooms
called. Let me explain.
Okay.
Yeah. Where is it coming from? So the word hug, they're unclear on where the etymology of the word hug is.
It's etymology time!
It's Germanic, but it's possible that it's related to, it was like in the 1500s somewhere where it first started showing up. It's possible that it's related to being enclosed by a hedge. Etymology, in terms of etymology, that it's something that is cherished, and you know that it's cherished because it's embraced by a hedge, protected, and that's this is under debate. But the word hedge and the word hug may or may not have.
Fascinating.
I
can see that.
And so the idea of a hug as a space that is both a contained space and embrace, but then also has infinite space within it. See what I mean?
So that's kind of hard, because I was playing around with that, because there's a lot of sort of spatial cues that humans take from how things echo around, and so like you can experience this yourself if you're in a big empty room versus like your bathroom, and how that sounds different because of how the sound bounces off the walls. And to me, the sound of the bathroom is sort of like what you're talking about, but to me that sounds a little bit claustrophobic. And I think I'm a little claustrophobic, so I didn't like when I was initially playing with this. I was thinking along your lines of like, oh, maybe it's like that, where it's like the reverbs are shorter, and so it feels closer and smaller, but it didn't feel right. It felt. Yeah.
Didn't feel that it didn't have the right because the TARDIS it really is bigger on the inside. It is expansive. So you were like, how do you get that layer of I am confined and yet infinitely expandable is probably hard to do.
Yeah, and so I went for like lots of reverb. For one of the reasons is because that is a very relaxing, like the sort of infinite decays of all the different little, the infinite echoes of the reverb are kind of relaxing, and hugs are kind of relaxing.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why also reverb covers up a lot of
Sins. Yes.
sins. Yeah, reverb covers up a lot of sins.
It really does. It's like
Yeah,
blurring.
it's like there are these rooms called
Mm-hmm.
anechoic chambers that
Mm-hmm.
basically have no reverb, no echoes, and I've seen videos of people shouting into them, and it sounds super fake because
Yeah.
they're just like they go ah, and like you don't hear anything else. Like normally you hear kind of the ambient of the room, and you just hear nothing, and it's just so eerie. It's like a bad video game or
I
something.
think I've heard about those, and don't people like go nuts if they stay in them too long or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not natural. I mean, that's part of why this is my post-production audio nerd talking in my
Yeah, you hear
past
the
life.
audio.
Yeah. Like when you record, it's not the ideal when you're shooting something in production, the ideal is to get it on set. So you get the energy of the performance, you get the sound of the space and all of that. It's as it was originally intended. But sometimes you have to re-record it, and that's ADR and
Yep.
and you put somebody in basically an imperfect anechoic chamber, a little sound booth, something that has all of the room markers blocked, or so all of the
Yeah. So
foam
it's
on
as
the walls.
neutral. It's as neutral as possible.
It's as neutral as possible. As a result of that, it sounds. You can tell. You can really, really tell.
Yeah.
So you have to add the right kind of reverb back into it. One thing that we were doing is we were doing something. We were playing with doing convolution on the sound by taking like an impulse response from the set that they were in.
Yeah.
And nobody actually has that except if you use a slate, like the clapper.
Yeah.
You can sometimes find a good recording of just a little thing, and basically multiplying that by your recorded ADR makes it sound a little bit closer to what it was like in the actual space. It is really fascinating playing around with
Totally.
with audio and taking like actual impulse responses, not like just something that's been calculated to like artificial reverb, but taking an actual impulse response from an actual place and putting a sound into that space is a really fun thing to do.
Is it hard?
Is it hard?
Yeah.
There's software that'll do it for you.
There's software that does it.
Yeah.
So as a electrical engineering nerd, I must say this is super fascinating because back in like my sophomore junior electrical engineering class in the intro signals and systems courses, when you start learning about digital filters and analog filters, because filters form the foundation of a lot of systems in engineering, they talk about how you could completely characterize, like oftentimes you can just treat the system as a black box, and if you can run a discrete impulse through it, the response of the system to that impulse perfectly characterizes the system so that you can then do modeling of it without knowing actually what's inside. And so this was a purely like sort of like math trick you would do on the integrals. And then a decade or so later, I heard that there are these convolution reverbs that use the impulse response of rooms, where they would record basically someone doing this, and then do the math and put that in, and you could basically get the reverb of what that room sounded like, of where the person clapped. And I was like, what? There's actually an application for this crazy math that I learned when I was a junior. So yeah, so and then like before, and I used to be like, when I first heard of it, convolution reverbs were like a sort of like in the early days of Photoshop, where you would say, oh, filter my image, and then you'd watch the progress bar. Like that's what they weren't real time. Yeah, no, and like now the convolution reverbs are like as a various effect on your phone or whatever, and you can like load in impulses from all over the world. I want to hear what it sounds like inside of the, I don't know what, Dodger Stadium or
what it would sound like to hear such and such symphony playing inside of a flower pot.
Oh, yeah.
Inside a flower pot, you know.
That's very cute.
Totally.
'Cause that's always fun.
That'd be a really
It's
cute
inside
little.
small things.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh my god! And would that sound like a hug inside a terracotta pot? That sort of like could be.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I should figure out. I've never actually explored the convolution reverb stuff very much.
It's fun. It's fun. It's really fun. And you can just take your own impulse response of anything.
Totally. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Random question. Okay, so our theme for next week.
Yes. What are we doing next week, Carolyn?
Is we're making coloring book pages.
We are.
Yeah, we talked about it Wednesday.
Coloring book pages.
Coloring book pages. Like
Okay.
so.
For a coloring book page. You don't need
a
to
coloring book page. It could be like an activity. It could be like It could be like a activity page if you feel like you want to do that instead. I don't know, like a word jumble, a page of word jumbles. I don't know. I'm gonna make a coloring book page. But the reason why that was a separator for me was because I was like, what would be the sort of equivalent exercise for audio stuff? Is there like what would
What's
be
the
in
coloring book for audio?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Is there such a thing as an audio coloring book? Kind of.
So it's basically it's got
the
the outlines defined, and then you fill in the colors.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah.
There's so many ways you could go with that.
I'm putting that out there to my audio friends because this is totally not. I know nothing about sound.
Interesting.
Or
I mean,
audio
one I think naive approach would be just be to say like, oh, here's a MIDI file, and the MIDI file contains all the notes, but it contains no description as to what sounds to use for those notes.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a very obvious answer. It's not very interesting. I think there could be more interesting answers to that.
Have you seen the videos where Andrew Huang makes like a unicorn song? We'll show it next week or something.
Yeah. I've watched several of his videos, but I've never seen him making a unicorn.
I will find it. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, but now I think you've broken my brain, Carlin.
Oh.
Or at least you've set it off into orbit.
No, it's also because there's also what is the relationship between the coloring book person and because there's so many different types of coloring book pages. There's the ones that they make now that are really sort of like targeted adults who want to just relax. That are these like really rich patterns. They're the ones that we had a coloring book growing up, and I think this is some of what I was thinking of when I wanted to pick this was they were very abstract, and it was really up to the colorer, like how you colored it really decided what the pattern was. And so like what is the relationship between the person who makes the coloring book page and the person who colors it?
Yes.
Yeah, I was fascinated that there's like a whole market for adult coloring books. Like one of the podcasts I listened to, one of the dudes on it was like, "Oh yeah, I always have a coloring book with me in my bag, and whenever I'm sitting at a coffee shop, whatever, and I'm just taking the time to chill out, I'll just color it in one of my coloring books." I'm like, "Oh, really?"
So known as just like a notebook, man.
Yeah, you know, but these are like books that you can buy, and they've got a bunch of designs in them. They're usually fairly geometrically abstract, and you just fill them with whatever colors you want. And I don't know, that sounds fascinating to me. But I don't know if I could ever do that. Bot.
There you go.
Hey, that's me.
That's you. I sent you that.
You did.
It was a conversation from several weeks, months ago.
Yeah.
I have a whole Deep Fried Neurons coloring book.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
You should make fonts, like
TTF
fonts or whatever.
No, I've been meaning to. And what was there's, I gotta download. I just have to actually do it, but I also have to have time to actually do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
I've got books full of basically fonts written. I just haven't.
Just do it.
I like that one. I made this one when I was looking for something like this and I couldn't find it.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Wait, something that sounded like a car noise.
That was me. I was beeping by accident.
Are you sure it was an accident? I'm sure it wasn't completely intentional. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Sorry. I just saw a thing.
What's going on? What's happening? What's going on?
I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that there's yellow on that? No. I'll scan it and I'll show you later. Ink, apparently, some of the colors of ink were printing onto the previous page, but not all of it. We're gonna be like, play us out, Chad. I could have a coloring book that's just alphabets. That'd be kind of fun.
Alphabets.
That could be great.
Just fonts. I kind of already have that. Okay.
Jay says pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
That's another.
Is this code?
Andrew Wong.
Oh.
He did that song.
We should send him a Sparkles.
Sparkles. Oh, we should. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like watching Andrew Wong because he's got apparently infinite money to buy all the Eurorack modular synthesizer gear.
Or else they give it to him.
He's just got like.
Are you sure they don't just give it to him? Like he has a lot of people watching.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
And he shows all that stuff to everybody. You would not have to.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to buy any of that stuff.
Yes, Jay says, am I asking for the URL? Yes, Jay, please give us the URL.
Of the pink fluffy unicorns? We're not watching that right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love it.
Not right now, but I'm going to watch it later.
I just discovered exactly how easy it is to open a bottle with snips. Quite simple.
Ooh, snips, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is why the cats are around. I'm reflecting. Jay is watching it now. Yeah.
Oh man, he's watching it. That means we can't watch it. YouTube only allows one watch per person.
I don't think that's how that works, sweetheart.
Their servers can't take it.
Oh man. Oh, now I'm thinking about coloring books. How would you do an audio
coloring book?
Audio coloring book.
How about a smelling coloring book?
There was a yeah.
Put your own smells on here.
No, Todd. No, Todd. Although, actually, for children and animals dealing with loneliness, that might actually be a really good thing to do. Like send them
a smelling book.
Just sell them. I mean, you like leave a T-shirt with an animal.
A smellering book.
A smelling
book. What about a light coloring book?
Oh, hey. I am ready.
Color I've made light coloring boxes. Mm-hmm. Do light painting all the time. I have a video of it.
So ready.
Yeah, shut. Yeah, if anyone is ready for light painting, it's Todd.
Oh wait, I got more.
So many LEDs in our house. I think our house is technically a super fun site. I mean, I don't really want to like.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Some are like old random components that we have. And between the two of us, it's like ridiculous.
Yes, I've increased the mass of this property by many pounds because of all the extra lead that there's there.
So wrong. So wrong. Yeah, now we're gonna eat all the leafy greens and them grow like right outside the lab door.
Age 60 days, just like me. Whoop, 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 whoop.
In
all right,
cask,
so
whiskey cask.
next week, coloring book.
Ooh, 15%. Yes.
Coloring book. Make a coloring book for us and everybody watching. All two of you.
Yeah, we'll put them up on the website. People can download.
Or coloring page, even
Coloring
just one.
page. Yeah, a coloring page.
Yes. You don't have to make a whole book.
The best thing about coloring books is everyone can print them out on their black and white printers.
Yep.
True. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you all next week. Thanks for watching.